Cherry indicated briefly in terms of her discussion of the looking at it from the cost approach, the income approach used by the county for these hotels in this particular instance came in considerably less than a replacement cost approach. So I think there's Mr. McLean's argument that the county has just sort of arbitrarily done this is it's just really not the case. But in fact, it has used a model that's prescribed for use for these classification of hotels, and they've acknowledged that these 4 hotels are all upscale hotels. And as Ms. Cherry acknowledged, the difference for the big change, the decrease in the value was simply the realization that the wrong model had been applied, and the county, it was incumbent upon the county as soon as that was discovered to make that change. That was an appraisal error, and so that was done, and that had been communicated to the taxpayer well in advance of this hearing. So I think, based on all the actual numbers that Mr. Mehta has presented and the documented model that the schedule of values adopted by the Board of Commissioners in January 1st, 2017 establishes that the value that the county had presented $5,250,800 for the real property portion of this property is the value that is required by the statutory process we have to use. It is the true market value on January 1st, 2017, using that schedule of values. Thank you.
All right. Are there any other questions from commissioners? Okay. Then I think Ms. Bendette is back in control. So can you put us out of the public session and back into the private practice or the practice session? There you are. Welcome back. And we'll deliberate on this matter, and we'll be back in touch when we hopefully arrive at a decision.
Mr. Chairman, will we need to remain available here in this hearing room this time, because this room is actually scheduled for another meeting at 2 o'clock?
No, you can go if you want to log back in on your phone or something to get the result when we reach one. That'll be fine. However you want to handle it.
Cumberland County said they have exited because of their conference room situation.
Okay, Mr. McLean, you still with us? Mr. McLean, they may have gone offline for a minute. I'm showing the box, so they're still with us. All right, I'll tell you what we'll do.
I still have them on listed on the attendee list as a call-in also.
Okay, let's go ahead and do the AV-14s, and then we'll announce our verdict or our decision in that case. And I see what I did when I looked at those no AV-14s, and I grouped them all together when I X'd them out off my agenda, which I shouldn't have. So we have two cases here, Baytree Apartments Limited, 20 Property Tax Commission, and 0615. And then we have also MP Investments LLC, 20 Property Tax Commission, 0616. The other two cases, no AV-14s, one settled, one withdrawn. So, Mr. Pelfrey, the Baytree Apartments Limited, 20 Property Tax Commission, 0615, here on the motion of the commission.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, bear with me. I'm partly reading off my computer and partly from paper. So in the Baytree Apartments Limited, that appeal was originally filed with the commission on December 10th, 2020. In the acknowledgement of that appeal, which was sent out January 12th, 2021, and there is a reason for that. The parties were informed that Form AB 63 was actually due by January 11th. Let me back up just a little bit and explain what's happened here. In each of these situations, there was a notice of appeal that came in, but it took a significant amount of time for the parties to kind of get everything together. And I say the parties because this is actually the same situation for Baytree Apartments Limited and for MP Investments LLC. So in both of these cases, we advised the parties that they needed to not only send in a completed AB 14 form that was signed by someone who was authorized to sign, that is not by a tax consultant, but signed by somebody affiliated with the company, but that they also needed to send in Form AB 63. About a month or so after we asked for that, the updated AB 14 form did come in, but we never got the AB 63 form. We re-acknowledged that the second filing of the AB 14, the one with the signature of someone with the company, and we said this was due 30 days after your initial notice of appeal. We didn't receive it within 30 days after the initial notice of appeal. If you don't send it in, it's subject to dismissal. You're encouraged to send, I can read the actual language to you. If you wish for the commission to consider accepting a late Form AB 63, you are encouraged to file a fully completed form promptly and to include both an explanation for the untimely filing and a request for an extension of time in which to file. So that letter went out January 12th, 2021 for both of these appeals. That is Baytree Apartments Limited 20 PTC 0615 and MP Investments 20 PTC 0616. And in both of those cases, not sure which way to say this, in neither case did we ever receive an AB 63 from the appellants. So we got no response to not only the request to file it, but the encouragement to file it even if it was untimely and to request an extension.
And both were notified of today's hearing, and neither has filed any request for an extension or filed the AB 63.
That's correct. For both 20 PTC 0616, I'm sorry, well, 616 is MP Investments LLC, and 20 PTC 0615 is Baytree Apartments Limited. For each of those appeals, notice was mailed to the parties and to the county on March 30th, 2021 to inform them of today's hearing and the reason for the.
All right, just one procedural thing. Alexandra, Steve said he was not able to get us streaming. Are we streaming now?
Yes, unfortunately, we can only stream through the general PTC account, not any one individual account. So we're good now that I'm back and logged in.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we were, if we could. Okay, you've heard the presentation by Mr. Pelfrey as to Baytree Apartments Limited 20 Property Tax Commission 0615. What's the pleasure of the commission?
I'll make a motion that we dismiss.
Have a motion by Commissioner Guest, seconded by
Second.
Vice Chairman Wheeler, that we dismiss Baytree Apartments Limited 20 Property Tax Commission 0615. Any more discussion? Seeing or hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
And it's unanimous. As to the matter, MP Investments LLC 20 Property Tax Commission 0616. What's the pleasure of the commission?
Make a motion that we dismiss.
Motion by
Second.
Commissioner Michaud, seconded by Vice Chairman Wheeler, that we dismiss MP Investments LLC 20 Property Tax Commission 0616. Any further discussion? Seeing or hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay, and the ayes have it. That takes care of those two items and the remaining items on the agenda, as we said, lots of other cases that were on today were disposed of by settlement continuance or withdrawal. So, Mr. McLean, are you back with us?
I am, Mr. Chair. Can you hear me now?
We can. We don't see you. If you'd like for us
I'm
to
back.
see you.
I'm
Okay.
back.
All right, we got you. Okay.
Mr.
The
Chairman, it looks
commission-
like Cumberland County also, I don't know, they came back to the attendee list, so I added them back. I don't know if they're
Okay.
able to hear us or.
All right, we see the box. Mr. Moorfield, are you with us? Anybody from Cumberland County with us?
This is Mike Zelka. I'm with Cumberland County. I was trying to reach Mr. Moorfield because I'm in my personal office right now. I was trying to reach Mr. Moorfield to see if he's logged in yet. I did send him the link as well as the password. I will continue to try to contact him.
So you think he wants to try to log in?
Give me just a moment to try to get a hold of him, and I'll find out.
All right, if not, we'll go ahead and announce our decision and you can relay it to him. But I'll give
That'll be
him,
fun.
I'll give him a few minutes.
Mr. Chairman, there is one other no AB 63 matter on the calendar, Oates Properties, 20 PTC 0633.
Wait a minute, did I miss
Steve,
something?
that one settled after I sent the agenda.
Oh, I apologize.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it shows settled on my latest agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, after I mailed everything out, the Lowe's Watauga County case settled, and so did the Oates properties. They settled, so
Okay.
that
I
just
think
shows
I
how
recall
last
that
minute some of the
also.
stuff is.
Right.
Steve, we are still online, but just for clarification, we had two cases for Lowe's that have settled. They're on for this week, and we've had some others that have settled. Are there still some pending cases from Lowe's that are out there?
There are still pending Lowe's cases from other counties. These cases had been on the agenda for a while. We were dealing with scheduling the Guilford County case most recently back in October or November, and the Watauga County case was scheduled around the same time. And because of a continuation, they ended up, it just so happened, on the same month. But the parties were ready to move forward, and we understood that everybody felt like it was going to go to hearing. Both cases would go to hearing, and we found out maybe a week or 10 days in advance that the Guilford County case had, I'm sorry, no, that was about 3 weeks in advance, that the Guilford County case had settled. So we moved the Watauga County case to that day to, fill in the gap, and that's settled last week. So there are other Lowe's cases, fewer and fewer, but they continue to be scheduled and to be planned for scheduling.
All right. Well, we've got, we'll wait a couple more minutes, see if Mr. Moorfield joins us. But we've got the May meeting, which I hope, and I plan on being there in Raleigh in our commission room. We'll still be virtual as to the others parties. And unless things change in the building, Steve, what about June? You think it likewise, is it going to be July before we can look at going back to having an in-person hearing for all the parties?
At this point, I have, DOR extended sort of the restricted use of the building through June. That was a month or so ago, maybe 2 months ago. And even though vaccinations and that sort of thing seem to be progressing a little bit faster maybe than we thought a couple of months ago. I haven't heard anything different about the building opening up sooner. So at this point, I think it's safe to assume that we would still be still have restricted public access through June to the Department of Revenue building.
Well, and then that for July, let's start looking at scheduling some of these more complex cases that have wanted in-person hearings. And I assume some of those are lows. We may have some others that you could be looking at. And we can discuss that more in May or later this week if we need to. All right. Mr. Zilka,
Sir?
have you made contact with Mr. Moorfield?
No, sir, I was not able to locate him.
Okay. Well, since he had indicated that Steve could email him, and certainly you can tell him, I'm going to go ahead and the commission has considered the appeal in this HMM Hospitality LLC 19 Property Tax Commission 0450. The evidence that's been presented and the exhibits and the witnesses and the arguments of counsel, and has reached a decision that the value of the real property in this matter will be set at $4,585,136. And I'll repeat that, $4,585,136.
Sure.
And that was based upon using the $90 figure. We found, Mr. McLean, that the figure should have been $136 rather than $536, according to our CPA's computation of that figure, using everything else as the same.
Understood. Thank you.
All right. Then if you'll notify Mr. Moorfield, and Mr. Pelfrey will send him an email, I'm sure, as well. Then we'll look at getting out a decision in this matter, hopefully in the next 60 days. All right.
Thank the
Thank
commission
you
Very
very much.
much. And then
Thank
we're
you.
going to go into practice session, which means executive session. It's virtually, it's called practice session, which excludes everybody except the commission and our needed parties. And we'll be discussing a case that we heard yesterday. So
Take care.
go ahead and let's take a break. It's 2:24. Let's about 2:40. Does that work? 16 minutes? All right, 2:40.